gonna be a fun day. We're gonna be playing a Mortician's Tale today, which is a game I've heard a little bit about. Um, it's interesting because I've heard a lot of people say it's not very good, but I've also heard a lot of people say it is really good. So I'm just kind of hoping it'll be somewhat fun. I'm not really sure how management game works, so I'm probably gonna be a little slow with it, but I'm really excited. And you know, I personally think death is really beautiful. So I'm hoping everyone else will be able to think it is too. Oops. Hello. I forgot to unmute myself. So I don't know if it's actually working or if it's being wonky. There we go. So, I'm always scuffed when I try to stream. Some kind of, kind of a problem, but I think we'll be okay this time. Yeah. So today we're playing a Mortician's Tale, and so I'm hoping it'll be fun, it'll be good. So let's go. September 14th at 10:15 a.m. Oh, okay. So can I? Is it WASD? Nope, it's just clicking. Okay. Go here. Regarding hello and welcome to our new funeral home. Our new funeral director. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet ya. My name is Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to ya and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. You ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., funeral director, Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Oh, maybe I should have read below first, because that's the original thing. So, hello everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, which I'm assuming is me, or Charlie, as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose, founder and director, Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Oh, I can actually click over to the tabs. That's fun. Let's see. Our services. Here at Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home, we are committed to providing loved ones with the best and most affordable funeral services in the area. We offer a diverse range of personalized funeral services. Funeral service options. Why not just say funeral services? To fit every need, prices, burial with an open casket ceremony and reception is It's $5,985. A burial with a closed casket ceremony and reception is $4,275. Cremation with ceremony and reception is $1,700. A direct burial with no ceremony or reception is $1,900, but it's all inclusive. A direct cremation with no ceremony or reception, $600. We also offer custom packages to suit every budget and need. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any questions. It was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable funeral services for all. I'm proud to have carried on my family's business for the last 36 years, working with the best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors. There's a typo in the area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you've recently experienced a loss and would like us to help you through this very hard time. So we'll start here. There's only one email. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office/preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you've experienced working with these stations, so please let me know if you have any questions. From Jen. Has to be a friend. Good luck, you beautiful and smart baby. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are, quote, business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. I guess it's just not something I really think about much. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada. Is that true? Is London, Ontario the that's really hard to say. Serial killer capital of Canada? To work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with my art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed up for a funeral's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you. I'm super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L., Museum Curator, London Pathology Museum. Reply with an auto response. Hope you get settled in okay. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you're really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia on the prep table. Talk soon. Amy Rowe. Tips for good etiquette at a funeral. Thank you for subscribing. Each month we bring you a newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, but here we are, because this is most definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that, but here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally following the rules of don't be a jerk should work. Don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and no place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. Don't get drunk. Happy reminiscence. Give condolences. Dress appropriately. These are all pretty easy, so I'm just not gonna bother reading. But, sure thing, I'll get right onto it. So, it's really interesting to me that it's playing a mortician. Because, one of my friends from the underworld's actually a mortician. Or was. I think he does bakeries now, but he used to be a mortician. This is the prep room where you'll prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family's requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you're just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and dry it. So, yeah, one of my friends is a former mortician, and he said it was really enlightening for him to be able to give closure to a lot of people like that. That's it, you're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of the dressing and putting her in her casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it's also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Maybe I should have read that a little bit better. Uh-oh. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Speaking of funeral parlors, there's this really cool, oddity shop nearby me, and I'm pretty sure it's a converted funeral home, actually. It's really interesting. Is this where we get most of this story? She would have hated these paintings. She was particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to get to see them, I guess. I guess. The art style's really interesting, actually. We don't usually small talk a lot of these things. At least that's what I was always taught. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, required by law. I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. That is true. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain. It's not formaldehyde anymore, actually. Fun fact. We're actually, nowadays, morticians use formalin? It's kind of composed for formaldehyde, but formaldehyde is a gas, and formalin is kind of like an alcohol mixed with a gas, if I'm remembering everything correctly from when I was studying to be a mortician. At least some bombing guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it, don't make me laugh right now. Yeah, Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Yeah, I was actually studying for a very long time to be a mortician. And I didn't really do much. I ended up quitting my profession pretty soon because, well, I was gonna have to move, and it kind of scared me to completely just up and abandon my family like that. But now, a little bit older, and I would really happy to, you know, be at school and all on my own. It's a little scary though. But we're going to have some fun talks today. Today's October 11th. That's right next to my birthday. It's really close to my birthday, actually. Here. What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. We all know everybody wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly. Be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. But hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean to be more formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes all the way back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol of mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol of mourning, though. If you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it is important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intention, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and Chinese cultures, white is typically the color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. I'm struggling today. It's been a while since I've streamed, and my brain is just like, we're just not going to talk today. Actually, being respectful is just the #1 rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what it is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, a family member, or a partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible. Even if that means not wearing what you're used to for wearing at a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. You know, I actually had a death really recently in my family. I don't know if it's just because I'm so far away from the underworld, but I wasn't able to go, and it's very sad, but I think in the end, people who live happy lives, they get to, you know, go to a happy afterlife. Hopefully they don't end up in hell, because the underworld is not somewhere you really want to be. A story about death, from Matthew to Charlie. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, you know, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know, did I ever tell you about the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Hello, welcome to the stream! Really tragic stuff. Messed me up and my friends up real good. But so, the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, you know. While we were in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out, some asshat driver who doesn't know not to get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed right into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me Hello. Well, not really. We're just talking about kind of just reading the stories that we get in the email. This is only, well, technically my second day. Um it's just talking a little bit, reading emails. Um hello. Anyways, one of my friends got in the same car as me. I think I just read this part, but I'm going to reread it just so I can keep going. One of my friends was in the same car as me. The one who had just got the phone call hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in a way that really makes you sure they're not really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and we all started giggling because, you know, like, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes. There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remembered that story and wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, and I sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, and before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit. Actually, that is true. Strong stomachs are really, really, really important because, formaldehyde's a really terrible smell. I don't know if anyone's ever actually had it, but it's a really, really terrible smell, and it will churn your stomach. But once you get used to the smell of it, it kind of feels like gasoline, because you know how some people really like gas? Like the smell of gas? It's kind of like that. So, this is from Mia Garcia, who was Mrs. Garcia's, the last person that we cleaned. It's her daughter, I believe? Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. Yeah. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share some home-cooked meals, sharing stories, and being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everybody to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. That's me! Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Best. Just passing the message along. Thanks for the hard work. I'm going to come back to this because I will auto-response to this. This is I want to know what the relationship of this person is, because her name is Jen. Can I rant for a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody cough, male colleagues, get on my case for wearing corsets. I feel the same way. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist bullshit anyways. And I'm like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in false concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They don't. They don't. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. I'm sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a little bit. So, I was working on Dracula recently at Miskatonic University and was really, really excited to help some of the girls get into their corsets, and then they didn't lace them properly, so they weren't laced properly. Okay, so let me explain this in a little bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed to be a too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceroprotosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, which is super unsettling but can also be caused by being pregnant. Oh, I hate that. Too long didn't read corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal damage. I'm tired of condescension about my wardrobe. That also implies I don't know what I'm doing. There are these kinds of things I specifically research, and yet being treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. So, next job. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable. Your next job is a man by the name of Mr. Duval, an elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much, well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. Again, it's not formaldehyde. Technically, it should be formaldehyde. Or melanin. I know what I'm talking about. I can't get the word to come out of my mouth today. So, another mini game. Wait, I forgot to click on the tab. Shoot! Well then. Traditional burials require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. I know how to do this. That's really hairy. Hello, thank you, bye. Thank you for stopping in for even just a few moments. Then the razor. You know, I really think it's interesting how we as humans, and in my case half human, tend to see death as such a horrible thing that just happens. In order to break rigor mortis, you have to massage the body, click over and drag the body to click over and drag. Oh, I see. That took a second. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. Warning! He's gotta be smooth. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue onto each eye and shut it. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread to the jaw to close it. Scalpel, there, needle and thread. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents skin from drying out. Death is such an interesting phenomena. It's the one thing we don't know in life, and I think it's really interesting. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with a preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over to the neck to make an incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the canola and drag it onto the carotid artery. The embalming machine to the canola. Wait. Okay. Did I do something wrong? Grab additional toothing and drag it onto the... Did I do something wrong? There it is. I clicked wrong. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Death. The one thing we don't really know. I'm almost wondering what happens when you die. But, you know. It's interesting that this game has such negative reviews, because it's really probably just, I think it's only like an hour long. So, I'm not sure if it's just people wanted more from the game, because it's a really well-made game. You need to drain the organs of any remaining fluid. Click on the trocar and click on the hold. I think when I die, I don't want to be embalmed. I think I want to be turned into a tree. And you're done. Michael will take care of Mr. Duvall's makeup and dressing and putting him in the casket. And funeral time. It's really interesting to me that one of my friends went from being a mortician to being a baker because it doesn't sound like something you would do. It came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next, poof, the person is gone, just like gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about it for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. 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 So strange not seeing most people wearing white. She must be Chinese. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but definitely not red, no matter what. So yeah, she must be Chinese. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. You threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Humming. So I guess just how it is. But I almost wonder if you December 2nd. So we like skipping several months in between these. One of the things I was wondering, or was thinking about rather, was when we were playing, when I was working on Dracula and when I was cleaning all the blood out and stuff, it was really interesting to think about the fact that, do you think if you exsanguinate someone that you could actually turn them on living dead? Like if there was a vampire, if it was really a real thing? Or do you think it would end up like this, where you just kind of drop dead? Oh, so this is just the same page. Okay, well, never mind. I don't miss much then. Oh boy. Okay. LGBTQ funerals, respect. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you'll have no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are, at times, subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. Well, no, I guess really exsanguinate a person, but like how vampires do it, because vampires exsanguinate. If you were a mythological creature, would actually draining the body of blood really, you know, turn you into a vampire? Or is it really just, I want to talk about how scary they are? We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraught directive. Either enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspections of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of an ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it, so a step in the right direction. That's a really cool thing, actually. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who may come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws surrounding same-sex marriage. But this does not mean you are not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. honor them. That's the reason I wanted to go into mortician stuff. Actually, the original reason was because I felt that the dead needed to have their stories told. But then I really like drama, and so we kind of changed it up. And so now I'm a theater student. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, but I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop like Rose and daughters cannot compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the hearse to the car wash, 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm gonna take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It'll freak people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Actually, there were 3 hearses, I think, at the oddity shop I went to recently. I should show everyone my pretty new butterfly. I got a pinned butterfly there, and it's very beautiful. Meet cutes for death-positive cuties. Charlie. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know, you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating industry site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anything since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask you about your day, so maybe meet someone in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. And I know you look like a babe with pale skin, and witchy gothy aesthetics are so hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. I feel like there is a very specific call out being addressed to me as I sit here with my very pretty cord and my very pretty veil. Mom ran over. I'm going to try it out because turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? What's a teratoma? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to the outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for dead meat, that's the... Ew, that's a terrible name. Isn't that the best name for a death industry dating site? No! Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. From Lizzie Duval, thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you. Girl, why did it take you a month and a half to send an email? Why did her father's funeral was October 11th because it was 2 days before my birthday. So why did it take her till December 1st to send an email? Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Okay, related though, I'm slow to email. It takes you 2 months to respond to an email about your father dying? Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. I brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as not to damage them. Click and drag the necklace. After she's been cremated, click and drag the route. Oh, you're gonna burn her clothes? No, I don't want to burn her clothes. To the urn. Cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation does not turn bodies to ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. under the nozzle. And bone fragments. Look at the bouncy skull! I'm not being positive. I'm not being death positive. I'm having too much fun with the jiggle physics. With the jiggle physics of the bones. I'm so sorry. I'm going to hell. We can drag the urn. And click. And put the lid on. Present it along with some flowers. She just wears the same dress. I know it's because it's the same model. It is a really cute game. I'm really sad that there were so many like negative reviews. It's a really cute game. This is nice and weird. She liked that we're all here together talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. I'm really scared there's about to be some misgendering. Thought she was cremated, not like in an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. Yeah, I know. It's a short game, but like considering it's an itch.io game, I don't know. I thought it was, you know, worth it. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, it's kind of a managerial, like you just kind of click and do all these sort of same kind of things. But like that's what a job is like, isn't it? Just a day to day. You do the same things. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. How much was the game? If it was cheap, I don't know. It's still a good buy. I got mine in a bundle. Back when there was a bundle that was being hosted by itch.io that I kind of signed up with. So I think I spent like $5 on it, but I got like 600 games. Oh no. You've lived your life. Oh, it's 10? I don't know. I still think that's not too bad. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution, and generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and focused on a few rules. Mainly it's because that the bodies are not allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, and it's also cheaper. Yeah, I would buy it for that price too. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So, better for the people, the environment, maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore preserved natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Did not know that. Very glad I did not go into this. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we are gone. We here at Funeral Monthlies think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. Challenger. No. Charlie, I've been playing a new game where things get slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Oh my god. These names. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghost. The main character also kind of look like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High scorer gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. Is this it? Left, click, right, flag. I'm just gonna click around until I... Oh boy. Whoops. jeez. Okay, from Ryan Garcia. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she... Wow, that kind of hit me hard. Just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it's okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we usually connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this, and when people don't know where else to turn, it's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self, and it would be good for you to start building these kind of relationships on your own. You're a treasure. Hi, Amy. You just asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Best. Okay, we'll come back to that. Hi, Amy. I am so grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been very happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Another thank you note. News about the future. Oh boy. Got a long email. It's about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. Hi all, it is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that the Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct, but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose us to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways, and you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There is a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way that goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters, starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I'm trying not too hard just to see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either, as I've signed papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all were without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. Yeah, it's really sad, but it's so true that a lot of people, a lot of big businesses, there's a lot of competition in funeral homes. It's kind of hilarious actually that it's basically politics. There's so many politics. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about moving any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, he has a pacemaker that we will need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. So, pacemaker. Oh, there we go. And now we cremate him. do like that the character has tattoos that you can see right here on her, like, little model. I don't know if you can tell because of the way my screen is. But normally, these, kind of simulation games, these management games, they're all kind of, the same. I do like that they make her cover it before she goes to the funeral, though. It's kind of sad, though. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. That's really sad. I think I love Charlie. She's very pretty. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's find somewhere and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? Well, that's not really a conversation to have at a funeral, but people deal with their grief in different ways. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. Here we go back to work, 'cause this is my life. February 28th. Yes, I'm coming! Leave me alone! Just wanted to thank you for the service the other month and apologize if I was abrupt. It was just kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Ooh. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Mushrooms. You hate mushrooms so much? I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker, but look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom shoot. This mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I cannot remember the name of it, so I'm writing to you on my phone so I don't feel like Googling right now. Anyways, the idea that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It is made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soul and plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners to use in green casket. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening right now. We might as well do something when we're not in the ground, you know? You have? Love you. I think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. That's what I want to do. But seriously, I'm probably going to go and do this. There's no harm in planning ahead. Am I right? She's right. We live every day like it's our last. Read this thank you. Things to say, avoid saying at a funeral. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would serve the best way to deliver this month's advice. I would have asked Mortician, and she talked about this. Actually, I was reading some of the reviews, and someone said that if you like Ask a Mortician, you would really like this game, so that doesn't really surprise me. We know that figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people, but unfortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is. Funeral Monthly's top 5 things not to say at a funeral. Number 1 is at least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It is probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be that jerk. Just don't say it. Were they saved? Oy. Oy. No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is not always comforting. It can be not only is I think they're missing a word here. Not only is that not always comforting, it can also be insulting. I think they're missing a word here. They're with the angels now. See above note and then rinse. Repeat. Let me know how I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mornings will not always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, like, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everybody grieves differently. Do not focus on yourself. Empathy does not involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied to any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say I'm sorry if you don't know what else to say. Good day, Mrs. Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was, clearly, not thinking right and did not know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. Ask for payment. We will bring a check. Oh. Okay. I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation. Yet, anyways, they are never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he did not make anyone his power of attorney and did not have any witnesses to sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It is unfortunate, but we will have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral that we are hosting in the afternoon. Charlie, is the suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. This guy's an asshole, first off. We're gonna try this. We're gonna do this one. I think I have a counter. A sensor if it's too bad. My goodness, my throat. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. I like that they ask, though. It's a really nice little thing, because not everyone is comfortable with dealing with suicide in such a manner, and it doesn't really matter that it's still a, you know, they're not really showing anything, but it's still kind of a nice to have it asked. It makes me really think about how many people really do make their own wills and their suicide notes, but people just disregard them. I almost wish they had allowed us to make the decision on whether to follow, you know, his wishes or the family's wishes. But I think that's not something everyone's really comfortable saying. I think I let that one go too early. There it goes. Why is there so much fluid? My goodness. There we go. Okay. Woo! This is probably going to be the hard part. Let's go. Ooh. Quiet sobs. He was a juicy one. That. I wish we were closer. Wow, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. I heard it was going to be open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know, been able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that. I know. It hurts. Yeah, I know. They really should have followed his wishes, I think. But I understand it's kind of a tricky situation. March 3rd! Look at that! Isn't that someone's birthday? I think that's someone's birthday, I know. Rose and Daughters, operated by Hillside Charity Enterprises. Oi, they've changed the section. We offer many packages fitted to suit the size of every gathering and budget. Ask about our selection of caskets, urns, headstones. What? Oh no. Did my audio just go out? You just said my audio went. I can't tell actually. Did my audio just go? I'm gonna wait to see for chat. I don't know. YouTube Studio's being a little rude. I can still hear. It blipped. Okay. Okay, good. Never mind. I guess it was just, you know, being weird. Let's see. Bronze funeral package, an intimate gathering and memorial for your loved one, customized to fit your individual needs. Best suited for groups of 25 to 50. Subject to additional fees and taxes, of course. Silver package, a small but special celebration for your loved one, best suited for groups of 50 to 100, subject to additional fees and taxes. Gold funeral package, give your loved one the best we have to offer, a large gathering to celebrate your loved one, best suited for groups over 100, subject to fees. Oh, payment plans available. There it is. I think this is all pretty standard. Oh my gosh, my throat. I think my COVID vaccine is kind of hitting me hard. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us are maybe unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions is what they've seen in media. But, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions are not the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleansing the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths to a healing with death, but the goal is almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, internment usually begins immediately after somebody has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shumer, guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are also involved and to help make the arrangements for the funeral and burial. But not all practices are strictly religious focused. In the odds of South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often. But there are also companies that compress remains of beads into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in the graveyards and the expense of cremation. And not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of the turning of the bones, or Pamahadya, a ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Famadihana has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in the cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and a way of keeping the deceased involved in the family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean there isn't beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. Oh, his name is Chad. His name is Chad. We're pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of the Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned by across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. culture, there will be a number of changes that will come with to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. His name is Chad. That's how you know he's a jerk. Can I just say, first off, what is this bullshit? Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy did not have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. It's true. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. From Jen. From Death Cafe. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, eliminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, that's a name, once said, when people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity. See everyone at the Upside Down jar next Thursday. Can't really write much now. I have a lot of work to do on the inaugural ingenial hernia from 1750. It is the oldest in our collection, and you can see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. That sounds really cool, actually. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event I'm forwarding to you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you've been feeling. A lot of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. Cremation. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Charlotte. Charlotte! He calls me Charlotte! Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you're done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Eat my ass. I'll get right on it. Eat my ass, Chad. Take her watch. Tag in the coffin. She's all set to be cremated now. Okay. So what changes? Get bent. I don't think I've ever met a single Chad who wasn't a terrible person. I'm so sorry if you're if one of my viewers is named Chad. Oh, urn first. Duh. I like that they did different designs on the urns as well. Because it's nice to have the interesting thing of the little details. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. Oh, that means she was hit by somebody. That's really horrible. Look before you turn! She was always so careful, wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Pay attention! Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leia. This has been hard enough on them, and without asking about the legal ramifications of all this. Yeah, after this, let's see what they can do to help them. Shouldn't have to deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. They? I had to go through all her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you can help, I can help. If you need help, I can help. No thanks. I mean, no, I don't know. It's so intimate. It feels like I should do it to myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah, she was special. I just walked through that whole conversation, by the way. I just walked right through them. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. And one more person. I just walked through do you see this? I just walked through them. I'm glad I'm here, but now I need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. Please don't make me walk. Oh, thank God. I thought they're gonna have you walk through that couple talking right there for a third time, because that's totally something White should be doing. But March 24th. Oh, is this my evaluation? Is he gonna let me go? Is that what's gonna happen at the end of this game? Am I gonna be let go? I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. Is he's gonna try and let me go. Okie dokie, here we go. Let's start with this one. As stated in the previous email, here are the new rules and the code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on on any premises belonging to the Hillside Heritage Enterprise. Yeah, probably. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and a strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this, is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Excuse me? Always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase their higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. You're disgusting. Additionally, no food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase their premium sandwich and appetizer food packaging. Our partner, Catering Concepts, provides high-quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can be easily defrosted the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition to the high-quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated is known for. Suck a large middle finger. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry, and no, I will not say hangry. Ever. This is horrible. This would not fly in the underworld. I just want to say that. This would not fly in the underworld. Because, if we're not allowed to bring in our food, well, no one's gonna come to the funeral. The food is such a huge part of the underworld's culture. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We as a species have seen the beginning of our end. Yes, we have. Green burial. It is so disrespectful. I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage can and will perform green burials. You're right. Yes, death should not be about money. We should not have to pay to put our loved ones to rest. We should be allowed to do it and do it in a way that makes everything easy on the family and doesn't put them into debt. We should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, compete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust you ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Literally eat my ass. Oh no, what happened? Oh, that's okay, we're okay. Everything's okay. Charlotte, I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises has received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I am sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the more cost-effective of the two. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver, aside from cremation. It's so absolutely cruel, I think, to refer to a person as a cadaver, even though they've not been claimed. This guy is a jerk. This guy is literally a jerk. Can we get an F in chat for this poor man who's been unclaimed by his family? I'm not joking. This poor man. Some days I wonder what happens if I end up disappearing and no one can find my body. Oh, please tell me there's at least one person there. Please tell me there's at least one person there. No one there. Wow, I didn't expect that to hit me as hard as my ceiling leaking. April 9th. Oh, here his ass go again. Here he goes again. We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps more commonly, resumation. Its technical name, though, is actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here and it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that the traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment. The high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the most being the chief among them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. But how does it work? It's basically taking a water-based chemical process that uses a very strong alkali in water heated up to a very high, about 350 degree. It basically works like a sped-up version of natural decomposition. So you desiccate. You basically desiccate a corpse. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at the factory, and alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than the traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal at the time of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. We got a lesbian! We got a lesbian! Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you had lost your taste. I want to be a tree, cremated and my ashes mixed in with the tree root pod and the tree planted to feed off of them. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she is super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't into it like the last dude I saw, Jason, Michael, a bisexual. I can't remember. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. Also, she totally also gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento mori, or whatever. Memento mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and reaffirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to the Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of my Ferris wheel. Would be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're gonna do it? You know you have my support 100% no matter what you decide. I think she's gonna quit. Maybe I'm not gonna get fired. Maybe I'm gonna quit. Yup. Matthew, I'm done. It's official. I've put in my 2-week notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, Kay? Yes, I'll bring beers over next weekend. We can talk a bit more freely. We are thrilled to announce the Hillside Heritage Entertainment Inc. subsidiary Rose and Daughters has just signed a contract with the Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for the Hillside Heritage Entertainment Inc.'s bright and sustained future. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she is ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden. We don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Dear Mr. Demka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering for where all her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one last time as she was. Beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. You can see, and then he signs the email CEO and managing funeral director with an enterprise and then Rose and Daughters division. Like, sir, you're not fooling anyone. Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order not to lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. Chad can suck both of my middle fingers. I shoot! There was a... I missed a tab! Can I click on it again and see the tab? I can! Aha! National Revenue Agency. What is your business? Enter a keyword, select Best Max Funeral Services. Register your business, 11 permits. If you are interested in starting... Ooh... a funeral service business, you may need the following permits and license. Articles of Incorporation. The applicant must file an Articles of Incorporation BCA Form 1 with the Central Production and Verification Services branch in order to incorporate. The registration of a business name for a corporation. To register a business name for a corporation under the Business Name Act, the applicant must complete. We're going to ignore that. It's a lot of... Okay, cool. Yes, let's go, ma'am. Make your own business. Let's go. Has hopes for an open. I definitely hope they're going to. She's gonna open her own business. I like that they've got her boobies covered. Even though I'm putting lotion on her right now. I wonder what she's gonna name it. Her business? I wonder if we don't get to pick it, of course. I'm sure we don't, because it's a story-based game. In story-based games, they don't let you pick anything. Unless, I don't know, I've been thinking about playing Cyberpunk, but I've heard it's really bad, and I'm scared it's gonna fry my computer. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll play Yakuza soon. I've heard that'll be fun. Wait, maybe I should finish it? I'm not even finishing it. There it goes. Whoops. I think I'm gonna do that. I know this week we're exploring the SMP server, which I'm really, really excited about. I really want to try and get a skin for my Minecraft. And then I want to play maybe Yakuza. Also, Cyberpunk, I've heard, isn't that bad, and it's kind of like Fallout with the bugs at this point. Just poking the poor girl like she's a pincushion. No one's gonna notice. No one's gonna notice. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk. It's really nice out. It'd be good to stretch my legs. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that chat guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. It's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. My ceiling is leaking. My ceiling is leaking. Where's my mom? Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Me too. My ceiling is leaking. I feel so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, I don't know. They must have had their reasons. What do you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I heard that show is good. I saw the video of that one kid actor doing karaoke. Be fed up, Charlie. Put your 2 weeks in. Be done with this. Be done with this. I would quit just on the principle that they call me not my name. Yes, my name is Evelyn. No, I want to be called Eve. Yes! Let's go, Charlie! Charlie, dear, I am so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. Yes, I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. You will never believe what job I'm working now. Open this email to find out. Hey, it's Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job was not steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills since I am now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said I had the most important my job wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me. But I don't know why. You've never been of the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. The kids can be pretty cute. But don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm so proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing you now. Matthew J. Congratulations on your new business, Charlie. I am so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you, seriously. I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase, but you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and to check out your new space. Always, Jen. Yes, have you heard about the green burials pods? When I find the link on in my 1 million open tags, I'll shoot it over to you. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier. I'll see you at 1 p.m. Best, Eileen Hansen. Magnolia Forest, Funeral Home and Natural Burial Park. Magnolia Forest, named after the magnolia trees that surround the funeral home, specializes at-home funerals, green burials, and our natural burial park. Our goal is to empower families and encourage them to have a closer relationship with death and the dying process. The death of a loved one can be a confusing and sometimes traumatic time, and we want you to fully feel involved in your loved one's death care decisions. Whether you are looking to care for your loved ones from the comfort of your home, be present during their cremation, or bury them in our natural cemetery, Magnolia Forest is here to work with you and provide these simple but intimate and meaningful options. Our natural burial park allows the body to return to the earth and recycle naturally. It is intended as an environmentally sustainable alternative to existing funeral practices. Our park has room for bodies of all sizes and ages, as well as beloved pets. Families also have the option to bury their loved ones themselves, if they so choose. Oh. We believe in being transparent about our prices and practices. We are happy to explain all of our prices, all within your budget, and hope to make you feel comfortable and confident in your decisions. Let us know if we have any questions. Home funerals $1,000, all inclusive. Green burial and services $2,250 for adults, all inclusive. Infants are buried at no charge. We can provide a 3x3 plot and help opening and closing the grave. Direct cremation $600, all inclusive. I'll see you soon. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much. But thank you for helping me give her the... Oh, my ceiling is leaking. For helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyways, I think we're ready to get started now. Wow. Man, my ceiling is leaking. Ah, Caitlin Doty, I know that name. Wow. The music for it's beautiful. It was a really good game. I think I would have also loved it if it was longer, and I don't really think it was that short. I mean, it was like an hour and a half I've been streaming. It's, you know, an hour and a half for a game is really not that bad, especially for one like this. And I think if it had been longer, you wouldn't have gotten as much. I think it was really good. Really beautiful game. It was well designed, yeah. I don't know. I think the story was good. I wish it had, yeah, maybe been like another scene or two longer, but I think the pacing was really good for what it was. So, I don't know. So, thank you guys so much for watching and coming to the stream. I would too, actually. I think it'd be really cool to do another stream. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a good point. I do think it felt routine. But I think you can pinpoint the moment she decides to like change is when she buries the poor homeless man. The one who had no one at his funeral. I think that's when she really started to change her mind. It's really interesting. But a little sad. A little sad, but it's okay. I think death is one of those things that we all need to face head on. Thank you everyone for so much for coming. It has been so long and I am so excited to get back to streaming. So excited. So I think Wednesday and Thursday we're playing Minecraft. I am so excited. Minecraft. So hopefully I will see everyone there. Until then,